So I'm laying in bed last night and I'm on Facebook, and there's a post on one of the Aprilia forum pages, and somebody posted something that said bikers versus real bikers. And I think a topic like that's probably going to stir up a lot of controversy. You're bound to insult somebody, but next thing I know, I'm laying in bed for the next 4 hours. Can't sleep, got all these thoughts going through my head. And yeah, so let's dig deeper into that and see if we can evaluate it. And hopefully I don't piss off too many people. Let's ride. Another amazing Southern California day. Look at that sky. I'm going to try this new road today. I've never been up this road before. Alright, so when I think about riders versus real riders, I would say it's more about a measurement of your passion and commitment to riding. I mean, yeah, you own a motorcycle, you ride it, but, you know, are you truly passionate? Are you truly committed? To me, a real rider loves, like, all bikes, all forms of motorcycles, all forms of racing. He watches races on TV, he goes to races. Man, there's some nice, look at that. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Awesome. Like every year I take a 10-hour ride to Laguna Seca for the World Superbike, MotoGP, when they used to have it. And yeah, I do a trip up there and it's awesome, and I never miss a MotoGP on TV. I never miss a Supercross. I love watching dirt track. I watch all forms of racing. Now, that doesn't, you know, you don't have to, but that's a good sign that you're a real biker. A lot of times, a real biker probably has multiple bikes. He's been riding for quite a while, and he's just accumulated some bikes over the years. Different types of bikes for different types of riding. His garage is like a shrine for his bike. He usually has, you know, at least one garage stall committed to his bike. I know we can't all do that. I mean, you know, you do what you can. Watch out, doggy. And look at this dog. He's gonna stop right in the middle. Look at him. Hi, buddy. Make sure you're gonna bite me. I don't know if that's his dog or what. Didn't seem to care much. Got a garage with helmets and multiple sets of riding gear and a nice toolbox. He works on his own machine. I mean, I rarely take my motorcycle into the dealership. I hate taking my bike in. Dude, this road is sick. You know, these street bikes are getting they're pretty hard to work on. And you know, but when I had dirt bikes, man, I was rebuilding engines at 14 years old. I was changing transmissions, you know, as a teenager. I just love to work on my bike. So I would say, yeah, a real rider, they normally have a garage set up as best they can, and yeah, they love to work on their bike. I would say a real rider usually dresses for the slide, not for the ride, meaning the crash. I mean, we never know we're going to go down on these things, man. Yeah, I can hit some gravel on this road, tuck the front end at 30 miles an hour, and it's going to jack me up if I'm not wearing gear. I normally wear, like, leather all the time. I love leather. I have high-strength denim jeans on today with knee protection, so I got riding shoes on, gloves. I always wear leather gloves. It trips me out when I ride to work a lot and I see these guys, and they'll be all geared up with no gloves, and it's like 50 degrees out. I'm like, what are you thinking? Like, you can't afford gloves? Like, come on, dude. The first thing you put down when you crash is your hands. The skin's got no competition against the tarmac. You know, usually a real rider knows they love bikes from a very young age. I loved motorcycles way before I had one. I was a little kid. I had my Schwinn Stingray. I rode it in the fields. I did jumps. Me and my buddies, we actually even let's turn right here and see what we got. Me and my buddies, we actually even built our own little BMX track. We made our own trophies out of wood. Always got Motocross Section magazine, and I would cut out my favorite riders like Johnny Omar and Bob Head, and I'd stuck them on my bedroom wall. My bedroom was like a shrine for all my heroes, and I loved motorcycles way before I had one. It was my destiny, I guess. Not a through street. Let's see about that. You know, I'm probably gonna piss some people off with this, but I think there's a lot of moto vloggers out there now. Everybody with a motorcycle has a camera now, and I see their content, and I have nothing against them. I watch them. I actually enjoy them. But if I was to say they're a rider versus a real rider, to me, okay, let me put it this way. I know I could grow my YouTube channel faster if I made some alternative types of content that are more appealing to the masses, all right? But I'm so into writing, I'm not willing to sacrifice like who I am just to try to grow an audience on YouTube, you know? I value that more than the audience, and these guys that make content that has nothing to do with motorcycling, it's just the fact that they're on a bike with a camera. You know, they're a moto vlogger, but their content is not about biking, but it's more widely accepted, so they're growing really fast. You know, whether it's I don't want to get into their content exactly, but you know, you see it out there, and I'm not against it. I'm just saying, you know, if they were a real biker or a real rider, they would value their content, put motorcycles first, you know? You know, for me, I mean, I work in the industry, so I got motorcycles on the brain all the time. I take a walk every day for lunch, and I've got my YouTube channel on my brain. I'm trying to think of new content that has to do with motorcycling, and you know, it's a daily thing for me. Bikes are in my life somehow every day. Now I realize if you're not working in the industry, that's a difficult thing to do. You know, there's a lot of real bikers that, trust me, don't work in the industry, but they still love bikes. But you know, how often do you ride your bike? I mean, you just, you know, you like, I see so many bikes for sale, and they're so proud that, oh, I have this bike, it's 6 years old, and it's only got 5,000 miles. Like, what? Dude, my bike's not even barely a half a year old, and it's got 5,000 miles on it. The thing with street bike riding, though, is it's really difficult to get into at a young age, because obviously you can't really ride till you get your license at 16 here in the States. And so yeah, sometimes that passion, it comes late in life, but that doesn't matter. What matters is what you do with it then. You know, are you going to take off with it, or are you just going to be like, well, I have a street bike and I ride it, so I'm a rider. Okay, but it doesn't necessarily make you a real rider per se. You know, how much are you getting into it? How passionate about it are you? You know, do you love watching the races? Do you go to the races? All those things I talked about earlier. Don't get me wrong, though. I mean, I love it that there's riders out there and real riders, and some people are on a higher level than others. That's fine. It doesn't make anybody good or bad. I think the more people on motorcycles, the better. I wish we had a lot more people on motorcycles. It would just be sick, man. I think another thing a real rider does is they give the rider wave to every rider they see. You know, here in the States, there's not much separation between the sport bike guys and the Harley guys. We're very good about giving the rider wave. You know, if I give a wave to a Harley guy and he don't wave back, I'm like, that's fine. At least I let him know that, you know, us sport bike guys, we're not just a bunch of hooligans. And, you know, I love everybody, man. know if this separates the real riders from just the riders, but I don't quite understand these guys when they, you know, you're at a red light, another bike pulls up, and, you know, he's just got to get all, the light turns green, and he's got to be all aggro and just jump it out of there. And, you know, even in the middle of the city, it's like, to me, a real rider doesn't have to prove, you know, how fast or slow he is, you know, go around racing everybody and you know, racing off the green lights. You know, I think a real rider just kind of rides around, does his thing. We jump on it once in a while. I did have a situation leaving work last night where a guy on a nice Yamaha 1000 pulled up next to me at a green light, or at a red light, and he had a nice Austin Racing system on it, and it had that nice thumpy sound, kind of like this bike here. And I could just tell by the way he was, you know, acting and the way he came up to the light, this guy wants to go for it. I wasn't on this bike, I was on my Suzuki 1000. I'm like, all right, you know, I'm gonna go for it with this guy. Maybe, you know, just show him a thing or two. And we had a good run, man. The Suzuki has got nowhere near the pulling power of this bike, so we were like neck and neck. And I started to pull him a little bit, and then we came up to a turn, we backed off. And I just was like, you know, gave him a peace sign, like, good race, man. There's no bad feelings about it, you know. But I just think a real rider doesn't ride around and just be really aggressive all the time. Where's the doggy? The same guy. Whoa, see, like I just went through a whole line of gravel. I don't like to rip it through these streets with a lot of houses because I just think it's kind of rude. I don't want to piss people off. So I just kind of take it easy through here. And if I get on the gas too hard anyways, you guys will never hear me talking on this loud, stinking bike. Anyways, guys, I mean, what do you think? Do you think, you know, what do you think the differences are between riders and real riders? Do you consider yourself a rider or a real rider? I mean, this isn't meant to, you know, insult anybody or put anybody down. It's just a measurement of your commitment to motorcycles. All right, guys, hope you dug the video. Remember, sharing is caring. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Videos every Monday. And I will see you in the next video.